my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, ha, nah, likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running right, see. And I ain't playing games, I create my own lane, making pleasure out of pain, turning losses into gains, I'm the boss, I'm making change. I've been rocking this exchange, popping off and risking things, gonna make a f***ing name. I just wanna be famous, but I don't want that cheap fame. No, I'm not that vain, I just wanna be greatness. 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 Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste me, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate me, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking bite me. Okay, I'm going off every chance I get. I don't really take a loss, well, I'll admit. That's why I'll make it to the top, yeah, I commit. And no, I'm never getting lost, I get after it. Investing in my own stock, cause it's faster than any crypto hits go, let me spend. Everything that you see is something I invent, and it's only a percent. I'm gonna take shots, if I miss all, forget it. I'll take a fat loss just to learn all that's in it. I'm taking snapshots, learning how to fall and get it. I'm getting back up, always stand tall, don't sweat it. I never back up, I don't miss a thing or regret it. I'm always learning, you could call me academic. I'm always working, never been apathetic. Bad energy is like a poison, needs some antiseptic. Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste me, you can try me. If you wanna hate bitch, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fight me. Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste me, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate me, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking bite me. No motherfucker in this world can do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be. And when my mind turns sour with the painful scenes, I need to scream out loud, I can't stop me. I wanna be the greatest like Rocky. You know I leave them all hating like a hobby. I'm out here making moves like a lobby. And if you ain't with me, it's your loss, see. I got my mind on the facts, I'm a python, grab what I like real fast. Choke until I have everything I attack, everything that I lack, everything that I want, and I see, matter of fact. Cause I'm my own worst enemy. Only if I let it be. I can control anything if I can just think carefully. I control my destiny. Deep up in my mind I manifest it. Every morning I wake up, I'm
welcome to my Mind or Your Matter. My name is Rick, and this energy is driving me crazy. It's like this is my second day straight with this really bad headache, and it's not going away. Um, and I think I know what it is. I truly think I know what it is. And what I think it is probably not what you're thinking, but I believe it's the sun that's causing this. The sun is acting up. We're definitely going to be feeling the effects of the solar flares that's been happening for the past like 24 hours, and we're going to start feeling the effects of it. And I'm already starting to feel the effects. I feel very lightheaded, a little dizzy, headache, really horrible headaches, and this little feel of kind of like vertical. It's like you feel kind of like an astronaut. You feel very lightheaded. Um, that's what I've been experiencing, and it's started yesterday, and it's aggressively happening again today. And it's just, and I caught up on a YouTuber who's explaining what's been happening with the sun, and the sun's been acting up, and it's been throwing out um, like a lot of flare from the sun, and there's a good possibility that we could see northern lights this weekend. I'm not sure about tonight here because it's been raining all day, so definitely not going to be seeing anything here. But in certain parts of the United States, are going to be able to see some solar flare, and well, they're going to get the northern lights from the solar flare. Um, but it does make you nauseous. It does make you sick. I feel very nauseous, very sick, very not myself. Um, Plus the pain, it doesn't help either. I feel more aches and pains, and also does affect you your body wise. It does affect your pain. It does affect your pressure. It affects a lot. So if you're very sensitive to energy, this weekend is going to probably be a horrible weekend for you, just because of the energy that's bombarding us. Um, there's a possibility that something really big may happen, maybe a big earthquake. But things are happening so fast. It's seems like the world is coming to an end. No, everybody run! The end is here. The end is here. Let me take my medicine. But it's not here. It's near. I think. um, and it's just a lot of things that are stacking up, and the way everything's been happening, and the way the media has been acting. Also, it's just very weird. A lot of weird energy. But see what's up. Say what's up. What's up? Um, I'm just hanging out tonight. Let me see if there's anything on here for me to talk about. Not really. Um, it's been pretty quiet. Um, the well, not so much for the world, and not so much for what's going to be coming soon. But a lot of things, every day is a new day. Every day is something always happening. There's always something happening, and we could take a couple of looks at a couple of stories. Um, Let me just point out. Let me just actually open up a couple of windows here and see if I could show you guys a couple of stories. I haven't seen them yet, so I'm just gonna open up and we're gonna watch it together. But I hope everyone else is having a good weekend because I'm definitely not. It's like, don't let me ruin your parade. It's just I feel I'm very sensitive to energy and everything that's going on, and with the sun and everything. It's not good at the moment. It's not good. I'm not feeling it. Maybe I could show just give credit to that person and just show that video because the sun is responding and it's not good. Yeah, we could see a little bit of Biden too because he's a fucking creep. So we could show a little bit of that creepazoid. Um, but there's a couple of stories we could watch. I wouldn't mind watching a couple of these stories. Let's see what else. Oh Lord, freaking Pride Month starts tomorrow, and I can't fucking stand it already. I just hate this Pride shit. It shouldn't even be no Pride nothing. It shouldn't be. Shouldn't even have a month. It should just be one day, like Veterans Day, like Memorial Day, like all these importance. We get one day, and then Pride we get a whole fucking month. I think that's ridiculous. I think it's stupidity. It's very stupid, and I don't care for it. I really don't care for it. Let's see. Okay, so I got some stuff lined up, and I could probably give this person a. This is the real BP Earthwatch. I'm gonna watch a little something on his end. Let me see if I could just get it all set up here, because I didn't have nothing set up when I came on here, but it's okay. I'll figure it out as we go. All right, so let's go ahead and set this up here. And we're gonna watch the first one we'll watch is this the solar winds and the solar flare that's coming towards Earth, and it's coming really fast. It's coming like 2.2 million miles per hour. That's freaking fast. Without further ado, let's get to the first story here. All credit goes to BP Earthwatch, the real BP Earthwatch.
May the 31st, 2025. Guys, a quick update. We've got tracking on two different sets of coronal mass ejections. First one here is the one we tracked this morning, and very powerful storm incoming around, according to this, around 7 p.m. Eastern time this afternoon, 00 hours on June the 6th. UTC time is midnight there. Take 5 hours off of that, and you got 7 p.m., right? Here's the second one. Now, it left about 0600 hours. The one we just saw left around 0400 hours. But look at the chart. The green line where it says Earth plasma density is a brick wall. Look at that. Look at the speed, 1,000 kilometers per second, guys. It's going to jump from 600 in that brick wall impact to 1,000 kilometers per second. You realize how fast that is? Look, this is the chart on the converter. 2,236,936 miles per hour.
Wow.
Not 1 million, 2,236,000.
That's
and again, brick wall impact on the plasma density at the top, going from almost zero to about 47, 48, and that's centimeters cubed. And now 4101 and 4090 are both beta, gamma, delta, but all three at the top are growing. The 4099, 4101, 4100, and the 4104. That's the four you're seeing in this left quadrant. They're all growing. They're all magnetically capable of X flares. Now, here's the chart. Since the last video, we had this one strong flare right there. And that's just adding into the impact of what we're dealing with. Continuous bombardment. We know we got a G4 storm coming in a couple of days, G3 tomorrow, G4 the next day, but that's before the last few events. And we're looking at it from the SDO. You can see the last event also. You can see that large flare, but right there in the last couple of frames as it goes through on the timestamp, you'll see that, and you saw the peak there on the radiation spike. Check that out right there. And one thing I want you to notice right here, we're going to look, this is called the 335 camera, blue, and we don't watch it a lot, but in this one it's very interesting because the large flare we see here, the first one today, the large one, it energized the sun's atmosphere, guys. Watch this, and cleared out some of the magnetic canopy. This is a coronal hole. You can see all of this kind of trying to form over it and close that hole. Watch what happens. Bam, cleans that out again. So it gives you an idea of science of how some of these coronal holes are formed. And you can see the energy here. That last few frames here is that new flare right there. Man, cleaned it out. That's amazing to see this. Now, guys, we got...
That's incredible.
If the timing's correct, we have, it is 2:16 p.m. now, so less than 4 hours impact from
Look at the explosion.
And with that,
that's
time,
crazy.
It's going to be pretty much
I think
a
that's Mercury.
U.S.-based event. Of course, a little harder on the West Coast, maybe as far as directly.
You can see the plasma coming off here.
The sun facing at noon. But
whoa, you saw that explosion that came all four corners coming towards the camera? That is wild. That we're gonna feel this energy,
look
man.
At this. Again, that was Mercury. You saw it earlier.
Yeah,
You're
that was
seeing,
Mercury.
The very last flare also in this image. But again, it's been a long time since we've seen 2.2 million
Back to back
solar winds. And I know I'm doing
That's
some
one.
updates on this a little more than usual.
Two.
But it's different. They're very strong.
And
we're not sure of what's going to happen.
I hope we don't get crazy earthquakes or someone, let's say the West Coast is very unstable right now, and this right here could cause a big earthquake. The energy is very strong. Remember, this energy really penetrates the earth, and it makes earth act a little wild. And it could be just enough to push the earth to have a big earthquake.
Because of the continued bombardment. And we saw 2 CMEs in the model, but there's been 4 or 5, and that's just how these models are. They'll pick up a couple, maybe. But the first one that came up this morning on the first video, when I went to the label to enter into looking at the CMEs, it said no CMEs noted until I clicked on it. So remember that on Solar Ham if you ever see that. And it was one of the largest ones we've seen of the solar cycle. Again, just a quick update on the impact times. The second flare, guys, if you noticed, was about 1,300 hours. The brick wall one, right? So they're 13 hours apart. One coming in at 0 hours UTC time, one coming in at 1,300 hours. So if the impact is correct, the timing at 7 p.m. this afternoon on the East Coast, then it would be 13 hours later, would be 8 a.m. on the East Coast for the second impact. So, guys, it's going to be quite a wild ride. And it's how do you prepare? I mean,
you can prepare for it. It's going to happen
as much as you can. You can divert some of the radio.
There's nothing you can prepare for. This is something that is just it's going to cause havoc. It's just not good for us right now, and it will make us sick. Um, it's just it is what it is, you know. It's not a good thing. It's just not good at all, and I don't feel good, and I know it's because the sun is playing a big role in this. So we're gonna go to the next video here. Let's go to this video here, and this is DJ Daniel is facing new tumors, cancer. This is the little boy that has been. Um, you'll see the story and you'll know what I'm talking about. Let's go ahead and just hit play and you can just see.
Turning now to a heartbreaking update on this Saturday, as we are learning the White House is sending wishes to a Houston boy who recently learned about his new health challenges. Here on your screen, you're taking a look at DJ Daniels. He is an honorary U.S. agent. Now, according to a social media post from the White House, the honorary Secret Service agent, DJ Daniels, is facing new tumors, 3 of them. That's according to an update that they had from his father. And I do want to bring up that social media post in just a moment. But first, a little bit of backstory here. If you're not too familiar with this young man, Daniel was sworn in as an honorary Secret Service agent back in March during President Trump's joint address to Congress. Now, for years, Daniel has wanted to be a police officer and has received several recognitions from local police departments. According to the White House, he has been sworn in to over 1,300 law enforcement agencies across the country. Now, taking a look here at that post from the White House on X, as it says this: we're lifting up Agent DJ Daniel in prayer after his dad shared that DJ is now facing 3 new tumors. DJ is one of the strongest, bravest young men and has now been sworn in to 1,351 law enforcement agencies across the country. Agent Daniel, you're a true legend. And then you see there DJ giving a hug to President Trump in this photo. A little bit more backstory here. We know that at 13 years old, DJ Daniel has been battling brain and spinal cancer, and his dream since he was younger has been to be a police officer. Since then, he has been sworn into law enforcement agencies across the country and in Italy, and he's still going. Daniel was given 5 months to live when he received his brain cancer diagnosis back in 2018. Since that time, he has gone through 13 brain surgeries. He grew up watching his military father interact with men and women in uniform, and it was by watching them that, at just 9 years old, he grew an admiration for those in uniform and decided he wanted a career in law enforcement.
Wow.
Just wanted to bring this update, as we know that this was a
Poor little
major
man.
moment from that address to Congress that President Trump delivered back in March, and we're going to continue to follow the story.
And that's him, and he's suffering again 3 tumors out of nowhere has developed, and this little boy is going to be fighting for his life, and I don't know if he's going to make it. My something tells me that it's not going to be good for him, and I think when he does die and when he does passes, he's going to be laying wake. I think they're going to do something very special for this little man here when he does pass. It's sad, but, you know, life is short, and he's taking advantage, and he's been sworn in by 1,351 agencies, and that one of those agencies is the CIA. I think it's the Secret Service, not the CIA, Secret Service. But this little man deserves all the accolades, and he's living his life at a fast pace because he don't have that much time to live. And man, poor little man, you know. It's sad. It's sad to hear stories like this because this little boy is really not. It's not good news. All right, let's go to the next story here. Let me open this up here, and we're gonna go to the Fox and Friends weekend, and this one is Lord Trump. Is this really frightening? So let's go ahead and check this story out.
also been a lot of discussion recently about your mental and physical capabilities while you were in office.
You can see that. I'm mentally incompetent and I can't walk and I could beat the hell out of both of them. I'm very proud. I put my record as president against any president at all.
I could beat the hell out of both
Former
of them.
President Biden cracking jokes about his mental fitness in his first public remarks since his cancer diagnosis.
He's a clown.
Republicans aren't laughing.
Laura Trump was one of the few who called out his decline early on, and she joins us now. She's the host of My View on Saturday nights. Great to see you, Laura. So it really is kind of amazing to look at that clip right there. For during the entire 4 years of his presidency, I have no idea what he's saying, and I didn't even get that he was joking until somebody explained it to me.
Yeah, is that what that was? Was that supposed to be a joke, Charlie? I'm not
Right.
sure either. I think we're all still struggling to interpret what Joe Biden is saying. But that's really the scary part of all of this. And, you look at November 5th of 2024, that was a day that really determined a lot for the future of America. Obviously, Kamala Harris at that point was the Democrats' nominee. But you think about the fact that had Donald Trump not won this election, guys, we would not even be talking about this. Jake Tapper wouldn't have a book out. The liberal media would not be actually talking about the fact that Joe Biden's decline was so severe. And I mean, it's really frightening. I think we're looking at one of the greatest scandals in American political history. Whether it's just sweeping under the rug what was going on with Joe Biden, the lies that were told to the American people, the auto pen, as President Trump likes to point out, that was used time and time again to sign very significant documents. There's so much to unpack here, but I think the great news is that you have Republicans in the House saying, look, we want to investigate this. They actually are bringing a lot of Biden staffers in to question them, to say, what did you know? When did you know it? What was going on? Who was using the auto pen? But yes, I think it's terrifying to think about Joe Biden having been president for the past 4 years, guys. But imagine Donald Trump hadn't won. We wouldn't even be talking about this right now.
Now, Lara, you know something about Jake Tapper. Let's play this clip and have you react to it.
I think there are any number of people that were part of this decision to hide how bad it was, not only from the media, not only from the public, but also from cabinet officials, from people in the White House, from Democratic lawmakers. I mean, there was a period, 2023, 2024, Democratic lawmakers barely saw the president. And I think it was Jill Biden. I also think it's Hunter Biden. I also think President Biden has some agency here too. We're not saying it was weekend at Birdie's. He was aware what was going on. No, I'm saying he wasn't. Like, he had moments where he was non-functioning, but he understood what was going on. I mean, we saw him earlier today. He can speak and talk. If you hear right now, he could talk for 10, 15 minutes and be fine.
But Lara, during that time, Tapper attacked you. He thought you were making fun of his stutter.
Yeah, that whole situation was atrocious.
Just shit out of him.
The accusation that I would ever make fun of someone with some sort of a disability got a New York Times op-ed written by Captain Sully Sullenberger to say what a horrible person I was. So I'm expecting, of course, Lucas, some sort of an apology from him. I'm sure that'll be coming soon as well. But it's pretty incredible to hear Jake Tapper now. And by the way, a lot of these folks on the other side of this trying to tell us that we should now believe them. Either Jake Tapper is one of the worst reporters and journalists in the history of America, because we could all see with our own eyes and hear with our own ears, Joe Biden was not cogent at all, that he was very, disturbed whenever we saw him in public. He had to have this group of people take him to Marine One. He was specifically calling on reporters, not President Trump, who you see in the Oval Office, calling on everybody as transparent as he possibly could be. It's a little too late, I think, for a lot of these people. And the fact that Jake now even is like, yeah, for 10 to 15 minutes, he was fine. This is the leader of the free world. He needs to be fined 24 hours a day. I'm sorry, I'm the one to point that out.
Right.
Oh my gosh, you pointed out so much so early, and you were attacked for it, and you stuck to your guns, and I love that about you.
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here.
That's
Subscribe
wild.
to the Fox News
channel. She should shoot the shit out of that dude. Like, come on, man. Hiding Biden. That's what they were doing. They were hiding him. All right, let's go to the next story here. Let's see. Let's go down to this one. It's ICE story. ICE, baby. Give 1 second. We're going back to the Fox and Friends first. Go ahead and make this nice and big, and let's take a look.
Here, an illegal teenage migrant who got a slap on the wrist after killing a young Colorado woman who was driving home from work has now been taken into ICE custody. The 16-year-old
What's up,
initially
Tyson?
avoided jail time for the July 2024 death of Caitlin Weaver, striking a plea deal to get probation and community service. But now the White House vows that he and his family, who are also illegal immigrants, will be deported. Former acting ICE director and federal prosecutor Jonathan Fahey joins me now.
Get them all out.
Jonathan, thanks for joining us. The injustice here can never really be undone, right? When you have an illegal immigrant who doesn't even have a driver's license kill a young woman in the prime of her life while he is recklessly drag racing only to get probation and community service. Details like that are exactly what motivates President Trump to do what he's doing. So the new news here is that both he and his family got picked up by ICE, set to be deported back to Colombia. So what do you think about that? Not just him, but his family also being deported.
They should be deported if they're here illegally, period. And the fact that he was here, he killed somebody and got a lenient sentence, he needs to be removed. And if he was removed without his family, you'd hear cries of separating the family. But it just shows how important public safety is to the Trump administration. They are desperately trying to make sure we don't have another Laken Riley, another Jocelyn Nungary. So they're going to remove people that are threats to public safety. And it's outrageous that the sentence that this guy got to begin with, he got probation for killing a young woman. So that's almost more insult to injury. But at very least, get him out of here so he doesn't hurt another American family. And also it'll be a deterrent to anyone else that either comes here or that's here illegally, that if they commit a crime, they're going to be removed.
Yeah, a partial deterrent, Jonathan, but it just doesn't feel like it's enough. I mean, if this family gets deported, they get to live freely in Colombia. And then what's to stop them from trying to get back into this country once again?
Yeah, that's a very good point. It's not enough for what he did. And I think what's going to stop him from coming back is, one, it's harder to get in now because the Trump administration's in effect sealed the border. And if they come back in, they'll be charged with the felony of illegal reentry after being deported, which will put them in prison. So I don't think they're going to take that risk. But again, they may try. And if they do under the Trump administration, they're going to get caught. They're going to get removed again, and they're going to do some jail time. But you're absolutely right. For what this guy did to not only kill a young woman, but destroy, in many ways, the lives of her family, the community, and other people, just because of a senseless act for somebody that should not have even been here, is absolutely outrageous.
Yeah, and we are seeing a trend just this week alone, Jonathan. There's been a slew of illegal immigrant arrests. There was this horrible situation that took place in Texas where 2 Venezuelan illegal immigrants are accused of killing a young Air Force cadet in a jet ski incident.
Oh, yeah.
And this continued killing, this may be why the Trump administration is reportedly very frustrated with the pace of deportations. Right now, it's about 1,000 ICE arrests per day, but that target number was just upped to 3,000 per day. So given the challenges that ICE is facing regarding potential lack of resources and also sanctuary cities, do you think that target number, 3,000, is achievable?
Yes, I do. And I think the way it's achievable, one, they're cracking down on these sanctuary cities. And unfortunately for some of them, they're going to be made examples of for things like alien harboring and things like that, criminal investigations. But once they can crack down on those and get more of them in line, it'll make it easier to deport people. They're also enlisting the help of local law enforcement under the 287G programs to be basically a force multiplier so they can arrest and deport more people. And this, the big, beautiful bill, as they call it, coming up, has approximately, I think it's about $140 billion for ICE and CBP. So the resources are coming just for them. So I think it's achievable. And remember, under the Biden administration, they were sometimes bringing in 10 and 12,000 people a day, and they had no regard for public safety, no regard for vetting any of these people. So the Trump administration is just simply trying to get the most dangerous people out of here, putting public safety first. But yes, it's achievable. I think they'll get there, and they're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, and there was some leadership changes at the top of ICE that we learned about yesterday that were just made. So clearly that 3,000 number is a focus and a target for the Trump administration right now. Jonathan, thanks for joining us.
I'm Steve Doocy.
That's wild. That's wild. I have another story that's a little wilder. We're gonna keep getting like into it. So here's another one. We're gonna check this one out. This one's it's a little wild. It's a little crazy. This is by the New York Post. A very chaotic scene at a. I guess this was at a chaotic moment. Anti-ICE protesters arrested outside New York immigration court after clashing with police. This is going to be a interesting one. So buckle up and enjoy.
If you do not cooperate, accompany the arresting officer to the prisoner transport vehicle, or if you resist arrest, you may be charged with additional crimes.
There they go. Bye bye. Being arrested. All of them arrested. Get them. Like, if you want to interfere and act crazy, this is what's coming to you. This is what we need in this country: law and order. And if they keep up with their shit, you're gonna see a lot of time in jail for their stupidity.
You will be placed under arrest on the charge of disorderly conduct. If you do not cooperate and accompany the arresting officer to the prisoner transport vehicle, or if you resist
Yeah,
arrest,
free. You're lying what you're doing there. Get out of there. You know, you're just being a disruption to society. This is enough is enough. Okay, you had your 15 minutes with Biden, and that was like The Walking Dead. And it's time to start bringing back accountability and law and order. We need structure back, and we need to bring back respect. You know what I mean? Because all these people are very disrespectful, and they think the world is only theirs, and we all share this world together. It's not about their point of views; it's everyone's views. And the last time I checked, the country did voted in Donald J. Trump, and he's the number one man. He's the one in charge, and he should be able to arrest all these individuals, protesters from anywhere. It could be outside of ICE detention facility. It could be outside of courts. It could be anywhere. Universities, doesn't matter. If you disrupt and you are a menace to society, well, you know, play bullshit games, well, you're gonna get bullshit rewards. And here's your reward: you can free whoever Palestine you want somewhere. You're gonna do it in jail. Let him go. You're going to. How about that? You're going to. How about that? You placed the games. Here's the reward. Congratulations. You're a fucking moron. Congrats.
Jesus Christ.
Like, learn your role. And put your mouth. If you're an immigrant, they gave you a chance to self-deport. Choose not to. And here they come. You think Trump's bluffing? He's not. He's not bluffing. He's pretty good at what he's doing, and he's gonna prove it to you guys. This is right now we're reaching not even halfway to his like first year of presidency. He's about to reach 6 months as president, and it's time that we clean up. You know, we have to clean up. We have to get rid of all this craziness. This is all disruption. This is chaotic. Who are these people? Why are they doing this? Put them under. You know, you gotta take them out of there, put them in jail. You know, let them see a judge. Let the judge decide their fate, and that's it. You know, can't just come and think you can do whatever you want. It doesn't work that way. Because they are just are fed up with these people. That's it. A lot of them are being arrested. They're gonna carry your ass up and take your ass. No, keep kicking. You're just adding some time to yourself because that's resisting. So you can worm your way all you want, but you're going to jail. And if you get any of your friends involved, they're coming along too. So don't worry, you're not gonna be by yourself there. Not anytime soon. Yeah, a lot of people coming with you. Like that person right there, that's pushing the cops. I'm pretty sure they're gonna grab her ass and put her ass in jail too. So who's gonna be paying for these people to get out of jail? So there's someone sponsoring this. You know, there's a fall guy. They need to find out who is paying these individuals to do what they're doing because they're just stupid for doing this. Because all they're doing now, they're putting themselves at risk, and now you're gonna have the government up your ass. Every move you make, they're gonna be sniffing you. And all for what? For what? What was your point? You know, to put a video on Facebook or to put it on Twitter. You're in it for the video. That it's propaganda that you're trying to, what are you gonna put chaos? That you created chaos. Get out of here. Going to jail too. Who else is going to jail? Start taking more people. All of them need to go. Get all processed. You know, you be a menace to society. Well, you're gonna pay society because we shouldn't have to be forking these officers' salaries and paying their out the taxpayers' money for them to be arresting these individuals. No, this should come out of their tab. And I agree. They offered all these free Palestine people. Well, you're gonna have to free us from paying these officers' salaries because it's taxpayers' money. No, I'm sorry. It's just gonna piss me off. It's because it's true. It comes from the taxpayers. These how many officers did you see in that video? Like it was just ridiculous amount. It's just stupid. You know what I mean? It's just stupid. Let's go to another story here.
The
Give
state
me a
itself.
second, and I could set this up. I hope you're enjoying the show, and let's keep it moving.
For officially on notice. That's because they're on a list of sanctuary jurisdictions issued hours ago by the Trump administration.
News 8's Tina Detel has reaction from state and local leaders.
This is something that we
Yes, my state, Connecticut,
and we're proud of it.
New Haven Mayor Justin Elicker says all people, including documented and undocumented immigrants seeking a more secure life, are welcome in the Elm City. He also says while the
wrong
police do
decision.
not enforce federal law, which is not their job, they would assist federal agents if they had a warrant
They're
and
so
needed their
stupid.
assistance.
So I'm extremely confused by this because there hasn't been a problem since 2007, and all of a sudden there's a problem.
Along
Hello,
with New Haven,
2007. That's when
Hamden,
Obama was
Hartford,
president.
New London, and Wyndham have all been put on the Department of Homeland Security's list.
I'm not sure why New London would have made that list.
The mayors of New London and East Haven say they are not sanctuary cities. In fact, the mayor of East Haven says its designation is not only absurd, it is baseless. Connecticut Attorney General William Tong says there is nothing in our laws or statutes that says Connecticut is a sanctuary state.
I don't know. Are
We
you
are not.
American?
That is a meaningless
You're
term.
Attorney General,
President
right? For
Trump's
Connecticut.
executive order is
Mr.
called
Wong.
Protecting American
Are you a
Communities
citizen?
from Criminal Aliens. Kristi Noem, the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, says we are exposing these sanctuary politicians who harbor criminal, illegal aliens and defy federal law. President Trump and I will always put the safety of the American people first. Sanctuary politicians are on notice. comply with federal law.
President Trump is lying to the American people.
This guy right
To be
here. He's
clear,
still down.
New Haven is not and does not obstruct justice.
Look, this guy needs to go down. I'm gonna pause it real quick because he's just talking shit because he's protecting the. I don't live far from this town. I live what 15 minutes, 20-minute drive to New Haven, about a 20-minute drive. He's a clown. Okay. He should be going to jail just because of his hair. Just because of that hairstyle, he should go and he should be ICE should come and take him just because of that hair. And then not only because of that hair, because it doesn't really look like his hair. It kind of looks like a really bad toupee. I'm just saying, it just looks what it. I don't know. It looked like something died there, because the way it looks, it got ran over a couple of times. Connecticut is really bad. It is really bad with immigration here, and Trump knows. And I'm so glad that it's being highlighted because it's really bad, like especially Hartford, New Haven, all these counties that they mentioned. I could go back a little bit so we'll see the list. Hold on, let me see if I can find the list. That one guy, he's one that needs to be investigated for sure. All right, here's the list. Oh shit, it's right here. East Haven, Handham, Hartford, New Haven, New London, and Wyndham. Okay, I do not live far from any of these cities. I live. I'm not far from these cities, and East Haven, yes, a lot of immigrants. Hamden. Yeah, there's a lot of immigrants there. Hartford, hell yeah. Oh, Hartford is if there's an ICE there, I tell you right now, they better send an army, because there's so many immigrants there. Like really bad. Like Connecticut is horribly filled with corrupted politicians, and they let all this stuff in here. Biden flew a lot of people here. A lot. Okay. They're not going to tell you that in the news. They're going to say shit. But a lot of these immigrants were brought in here and flown here. Okay. New Haven is polluted with immigrants. Okay. And New London also. They're trying to defend the mayors there, saying that no, there's no immigrants here. There's not one immigrant here. Everyone is legal. Bullshit. And Wyndham, same thing. These like the government are like, even the mayors of these cities is pathetic. And I don't know how the hell these people get in to how they get into office, how they get into being mayors, like and like you don't know if you don't live near this craziness. I know, even the train agrees. Is the train's like, bitch, I gotta go through these cities. I gotta go through these like cities, especially New Haven and Hartford. It's really fucking crazy with immigrants. You just see them in the train. They're there almost every day. It's easy. I tell ICE, look, you wanna like really catch a lot of people? Just wait at the train station. Just stay around the train station and you see them everywhere. Go to the bus terminal and you'll see them everywhere. They're just out there. They're like bugs. They're everywhere. So let's go back to the story here. Let's go back to the toupee or roadkill. We'll call it roadkill because that hair. Oh, look at that. And he's the mayor. He's the mayor of New Haven. Man, I want to bury that hair. Like I want to have a full, like I don't know. I know even the train is a green. I'm like, I know, man. I know you gotta pass by his city all the fucking time. And that hair, it looked like you ran over it, Mr. Train. Did you ran over that hair? Oh, I'm sure you did. Holy crap, let's go and listen to this creepazoid.
To the American people. Let's be clear, New Haven is not and does not obstruct justice. New Haven is not protecting dangerous, violent criminals.
House GOP leader Vincent Candelora says Democrats in the legislature have taken extreme positions, expanding the Trust Act far beyond its original purpose of protecting victims and maintaining safety. Instead, it now shields illegal immigrants who are endangering our communities.
Yep.
This is reckless.
That's
We
very
respect the
true.
rule of law in the city of New London, and we follow all federal and state
This is
law
another creep
enforcement,
right here.
protocols.
The executive order
Oh,
says
shit.
the list can be reviewed and changed at any time. In New Haven, Tina Detel, News 8.
That's wild. That's wild. That's where we at, you know what I mean? That's here. Connecticut it's not good. A lot of immigrants here, they're everywhere. Like I said, they're like bugs. They're everywhere. And profiling here, it will be such a crazy effect for ICE. They're gonna have a great time distinguishing who's who and what's what and who's American, who's actually who's legal and who's illegal. I wouldn't want to play that game of trying to figure out who's who. I hated that game anyways. Who liked it, that game? Did anybody likes that who's who? I think that game was very creepy. I didn't like it. And it's like, nope, not for me. I used to be like a lot of what games I used to play a lot. I used to love playing Connect 4. Connect 4 and Trouble was really cool games that we used to play like a family. And I was very competitive when it came to that. Especially the Double Trouble. Oh man. It was good times back in the days with my family. Growing up was very unique. But let's go to another story here. And this one is it's not long. It's a pretty short one. It's less than 3 minutes. And this is about Trump turning Alcatraz and putting it back in service as a federal prison. I like that idea.
Always live. ABC 7 News starts right now.
Moving forward with plans to reopen The Rock. 3 weeks ago, most Democrats and Bay Area politicians thought it was a joke. But now it appears President Trump was not kidding as federal prison officials wrap up a visit to Alcatraz and make plans to return. Good evening. I'm Amma Dates.
And I'm Julian Glover. At the direction of President Trump, federal prison officials are looking into the rebuilding and reopening of the island prison.
ABC 7 News reporter Suzanne Fon joins us live from the newsroom with more on what's being said about the plan to reinstate Alcatraz as a maximum security prison. Suzanne.
So, Alma, Julian, the superintendent of Golden Gate National Recreation Area reportedly does not think reopening Alcatraz is in the cards. But the Federal Bureau of Prisons director says the project is both exciting and plausible.
Ooh.
We got the pack of wildflower seeds. Well, then we got a couple books.
Alcatraz draws so many visitors, all hoping to get a close-up look at the rock.
It's been on our bucket list for a while. It was kind of scary being in the jail.
It's one thing to be a tourist attraction, but the possibility of reopening as a prison 60 years after it closed. Listen to what the director of Federal Bureau of Prisons told Fox News last week.
We've got engineering teams out there now that are doing some assessments. And so I'm just really excited about the opportunity and possibilities. When you think of Alcatraz, you think of Fenway Park, Wrigley Field, Lambeau Field, those types of facilities. You just get that kind of feeling about Alcatraz when you think of those historical venues. And so we absolutely think we can get it done.
Alcatraz closed as a prison in 1963 because the government said it was just too expensive to maintain. President
What?
Trump said he wants to reopen and expand it to house the most ruthless and violent offenders. ABC 7 News asked California
Wow.
Attorney General Rob Bonta about that.
I thought it was a joke when I saw it the first time. And, who knows? It doesn't
Trump
seem like
ain't a
serious
joke,
policy. There's
motherfucker.
massive infrastructure problems for how to have an operational facility there for what he wants to do with it.
Critics say reopening the Rock is not realistic. According to the San Francisco Chronicle, at a public meeting in the Presidio on Thursday, GGNRA Superintendent David Smith said, quote, "I don't think this is likely in our future." He noted the amount of money that would be necessary and the amount
Hey,
of legal hurdles that will stand
they're
in the
gonna have the
way.
money for
And
it,
he
all
said
the
it
savings.
was just not well situated for the Bureau of Prisons. And the director of Federal Bureau of Prisons says he plans to visit Alcatraz to make or take an assessment of it. He believes reopening Alcatraz is doable and says a lighter weight material would be key for the prison structure.
Okay, let's go to me because I need to talk about that one. I think that's a fucking great idea, and the infrastructure is already there. The only thing is, yes, you need upgrades. It's gonna need upgrades, but you gotta understand, Trump's looking into the future, okay? And I think it would be a great idea because I think the person that they're gonna put in there, I think Nancy Pelosi should be like the first one thrown into that jail, and then Adam Schiffner, throw AOC in there, and Letitia James, and who else? Who else you want to throw in? Name them. Let's play who's who, right? Who you want to throw in that jail? Hey, it's gonna be like a super max. The upgrades, the money is gonna be there. Trump has been making like big money deals overseas, and he knows in the future that money's gonna be there. And hey, we could afford. Remember, I said in my show, you guys gotta listen to me. Like when I say Trump should open more prisons, and at least like 13 more prisons, and one of them could be Alcatraz, to put it back in service and do the upgrades because it's going to need upgrades, and they can do it. They could do the paint job in there and like structure it back to service again. And hey, maybe there'll be a part 2 Alcatraz. I don't know. Clint Eastwood is available. I mean, he's pretty old right now. Shit, he'll be a really old. He's like, oh, I gotta do part 2. Oh man, Escape of Alcatraz. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I mean, remember, you got to implement fear back into society to start doing good, because there's a lot of people doing bad things. And the only way you're going to, bring back a structure to society is fear, and this is what happens when you do the extreme worst. We're going to put you here. And some places, I think the Alcatraz, I think, yeah, it would be a bad, like it would be like a, it would be housing the worst of the worst, but it would be more like kind of like an upgrade to the worst, like not really so bad but you're gonna have a very beautiful view. Like you're gonna see like San Francisco, you're gonna see like Golden Gate Bridge, and I don't get to see Golden Gate Bridge, and like that's I mean, shit. I mean, you get that morning like coolness because of the bay, and yeah, I think that jail would be very. They could bring it back to service, and the tourists gonna have to go kick rocks. That's the only thing that's gonna hurt is San Francisco, is the tourist system, like the tourists going to Alcatraz. So they could do probably some kind of tour. It's not going to be the same. You're not going to go into jail. So I don't know how that's going to work for the tourists there. So that's really going to hurt San Francisco. But other than that, I think it's a great idea. I mean, should bring back the jail from the Goonies. Remember that little jail? They were holding. Yeah, bring back the little jail. But I think it would be pretty interesting. It's worth talking about it. At least to see what the opinion is. I just think, for me, in my opinion, I think it would be a good idea. I think it would be a great idea to bring back the service. Now let's go to the next story here, and this is about Ukraine acquires more. Yeah, this is uranium to make a nuclear weapon. So they this is kind of feels like the Iraq story again. I feel like this is like back to Iraq, back to the days where it's like, oh, they have the bomb, they have nuclear weapons, they have and they're dirty, whatever. Um, so this is the story here on Iran. So let's take a look at it, and it's only about 2 minutes long, so it's not that long.
News that we are following right now as we continue our coverage. This is some of the video that you were looking at out of Iran, but we've learned that Iran has further increased its stockpile of uranium enriched to near weapons grade levels. That's from a confidential report by the United Nations nuclear watchdog. They said it really moments ago, and it called on Tehran to urgently change course and comply with the agency's probe. The report comes at a sensitive time as Tehran and Washington have been holding those rounds of talks over a possible nuclear deal that President Trump is trying to reach. The report by the International Atomic Energy Agency, which was seen by the Associated Press, says that as of May 17th, Iran has amassed a total of 900 pounds of uranium enriched up to 60%.
Oh, no.
That's an increase of about 300 pounds since the IAEA's last report, which was just months ago in February. That material is a short technical step away from weapons grade levels of 90%. A report in February put the stockpile somewhere around 605 pounds. The IAEA chief, Rafael Mariano Grossi, has stressed repeatedly that, quote, Iran is the only non-nuclear weapon state enriching to this level. On Saturday, Grossi said, quote, he reiterates his urgent call upon Iran to cooperate fully and effectively with the IAEA. On Thursday, senior Iranian officials dismissed speculation about an imminent nuclear deal with the U.S., emphasizing that any agreement must fully lift sanctions and allow the country's nuclear program to continue. Again, all of this information here coming in at this hour. Take a look once again at your screen, as the comments did come a day after Trump said that he told Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to hold off on striking Iran to give the U.S. administration more time to push for a new nuclear deal with Tehran.
Oh, no.
We are going to keep you updated here on all of the latest developments on.
Okay, let's come back to me on this one. This is a big story. This is really big. I always felt something really, really big was going to happen. This is you giving probable cause and assumptions. But the problem is, like, the U.S. had put Israel, but it's not a hold. It's on notice. Okay, Israel is on notice. They're telling them to wait, and the reason why they're telling them to wait is because the U.S. is repositioning their ships and their submarines. They're repositioning them, and they're aiming at Iran. And they need a little time to get the ships in position. Because remember, you can't just pull up like it's all like, no, you need the time. It takes time to maneuver these vehicles, and something really big is going to happen. Is it World War III? I think we're already in World War III. It's slow to break out, but they want it to break out. This is something that, Trump is a big player in this. And what I see is the United Emirates, like Saudi Arabia and all these places are going to be really friendly with the U.S. This is like a scene again from the Iraq wars. It's just replaying in my head, and how Saudi Arabia played a big role in the U.S. Getting into Iraq and taking over Baghdad and all these areas and eliminating a lot of the Iraqi forces, especially in the oil fields. Holy shit, that was a bloodbath. It's like the highway. It was a pure bloodbath. It was just wow. I think something big is going to happen, and it's going to happen, and it's like they got a lot of uranium. Okay, that's a problem. That's a big problem, and they're capable of producing a weapon. Okay, they already have it probably made. It's already made. It's they have nuclear weapons. I'm sorry to tell you, Iran already has them, and they were sent. They were brought in. They were brought in, and this is how you take out Iran. I mean, you need they're gonna want someone else, another party to take over Iran, but you have to take by force, and this is gonna be a by force, and it's gonna get wild, especially if they shoot all out at Israel again. Because the first time was a dry. It was like it was a test. It was a test. It was like, let's see, how far we could get these rockets, and let's see if we could penetrate, the Iron Dome. And some did come. They did get there. A lot of them failed. A lot of them, ended up in Saudi Arabia and Iraq, and some did come in and penetrated in. So, man, this would be one of the biggest mistakes in mankind. But the U.S. is going to have to do something about it, and they're going to have to take out those targets, those sensitive targets, the ones that they're pretty much producing, and a lot of this is in mountain terrains, and you're gonna need to use the bunker buster bomb, because you have to penetrate into the mountains, because they're located in the mountains, and I mean, at this point, I think the Ayatollah doesn't really care. He's already I don't think like the leadership really cares about its people at this point. He's like, he doesn't care. He's gonna die anyway, so I'm gonna go out with a bang. And they gave Russia and Ukraine 2 weeks. Trump gave Russia 2 weeks to a ceasefire. Okay. And then now another problem with Iran, because it needs to be resolved immediately. And they're trying to put a pause to that, Russian deal up there and focus on Iran and use a lot of the weaponry against Iran. It's plain chess. This is a match. It's a match. It's a world fight. It's you're maneuvering your pieces through the board, and you're trying to conquer. Okay, and you try to figure out, and start maneuvering. And right now, that's why I feel like the pieces are moving, and they're trying to tell Russia, chill out. Like, ceasefire, chill out. Like, we got bigger fish to fry. And we're going to need to work together on this. And, the land grab could wait. That's basically what's happening. It's like land grab, Well, why not? Israel is going after Gaza. I always envision Gaza being a part of Israel. It's something in my mind that always tells me, like, Gaza is going to be part of Israel. Is going to be a part of Israel. It's I don't know. I don't know if it's the name or something about that area, but they're feeling it too, and that's why they want to capture it back and push the Palestinians a little bit further south. And Egypt is not really happy about that. There's the neighboring individuals out there, they're not really happy about this. But I always felt like Gaza was going to be a part of Israel, and then it's a land grab. It's the land grab. This is the land grab war. So Russia is trying to go and continue to go after Ukraine, and Ukraine is they're going back and forth, but you got Israel going after Gaza, and then China going after Taiwan. And what we're trying to do, we're trying to fucking get Canada and fucking Greenland. What's it? Like, come on. That's what we're trying to get. We're trying to land grab. We're trying to get Canada, and you motherfuckers become the 51st state. You be the number one, It would be the 5 and the 1. You be the 1, and then we're trying to get Greenland. And it's all strategic. It's all about, like, the weaponry. It's all about defense. It's coming together and working together and stop this divide, because of an imaginary line that you believe in is what separates humanity. Are you fucking crazy? Like, humanity, like the humans, we're all humans. There's no division. There's it's weirdness because there's so many people speak different languages, and so many people look different. We don't look the same. We all are the aliens, and the Chinese are very alien like, and the Japanese too, and there's a lot of all around the world. Everyone's different. Everyone has their looks from, and I always feel like we were dropped off here. It's like we are the one big zoo, and well, we were brought here. Something really galactic, really big happened, and they discovered this Earth, and they brought us here. It's just, that's the only story that really makes sense to me. It's that we were brought here. It's like all around the world. We're all brought here, and and the rest is history. It's just my belief. Everyone has their own beliefs, but the Alcatraz is pretty fucking cool. Iran, I know you guys have the weapon. It's not. It's a medium grade type of weapon. It's not really the weapon. But it is a weapon. Then they have a couple of them. It's they have everything they need to make it, and they are making it, and they do have it. Is Israel gonna keep their word and go after these targets? This next 2 weeks is very fucking interesting. The energy right now is very wild. So, this upcoming week is very important. The next one is also, like, it's very hot. The energy is very high. The sun is throwing out energy that humanity doesn't even fucking. We never live a time where we got this type of energy hitting the earth. Like, this is like going back way before us, and like even humans. Like, this, the sun is acting very erratic, and a lot of energy is hitting us. And the only thing that's happening in this world right now is negative. Negative is trying to dominate the positive, and the negatives think that they're very strong, and the positive ones are just like watching the negative and be like, do you see this shit? It's like you can see the negatives, and then they're getting in trouble, like Leticia James. Like, that's crazy. Like how that did a 360 turnabout and be like it was like a 180. It went from Trump right back to you, bitch, and went to Leticia James. Like, she was worse than what Trump did. She stole from fucking federal. She lied. That's wild. The energy of people being caught, and I'm witnessing it, and I'm like hiding behind the mask here because it's like the third eye mask. Everything is like wide open. You can see everything. I can see everything, and I'm like, this is so fucking amazing that it's coming out like in the public viewing. People could see it. Like, it's amazing. It's amazing to be alive right now. I don't like something about this time that we're in right now. It's just, it fascinates me. I'm so in awe that I get to live at this point in time, and experience what I am experiencing, and you guys are experiencing the same too in your own ways, because everyone doesn't experience, like, everyone's energy is different. Everyone has their own little battery, so it depends on how your frequency is tuned in, is how you feel. And if you could pick up energy like I do, everything that the sun is throwing out is affecting me really bad. And I'm not the only one that's feeling like this. There has to be more people that are feeling like this. I am just not the only one. And I hope things get better. And it's going to be a wild time. You're lucky to be alive right now. But let's check this story out here. This is a weird one. I just wanted to see what the hell it was and share with you guys. A second car in 3 months crashes into a roof of, like, this is a crazy story. Let's check it out. This is wild. This world is wild. And like I said, we're living in really special times.
Check your screen out now. Caught on camera, a car flies through the air, slamming onto the roof of an Excelsior Springs building. Amazingly, it's not the first time.
You got to see this. This is wild. It took me a moment to get it. Like, I realized that I got to switch the camera because I was like so fascinated to the damn story. It was so wild. You got to see this.
Check your screen out now. Caught on camera, a car flies through the air, slamming onto the roof of an Excelsior Springs building. Amazingly, it's not the first time. In fact, just over 3 months ago, another car crashed into the roof of the Clay Ray Veterans Building in Excelsior. I'm John Holt.
I'm Bria Love. Veterans Association leaders there shocked, having just repaired the roof. Fox 4's Lexi French, she's live outside of the hall in Excelsior Springs. So, Lexi, this is going to have a major impact on the Veterans Association.
Yeah, look. Put some pose.
Bria, it absolutely will. Now, the outside of the building on the roof, there is extensive damage, but right now we're going to give you a look inside. As you can see, some of the damage here on the ceiling of the building. They were just about finished with repairs from that crash back in February, and we're set to celebrate and have a reopening. And now they're back to square one.
Oh, no.
2 years from now, it'll be 100 years that we've been here. It's the first time we've had one car crash into the roof, let alone two of them.
This surveillance footage shows the moment the car crashed into the roof of the Clay Ray Veterans Association building. A man was driving on Linwood Avenue when his car launched off the cliff, tumbled through the trees, and then flipped right onto the roof.
Wait a minute. Hold on. You're going a little bit too fast there. I need to see this video again. Let's see if we can play it. Like, what the fuck? Okay, this is the crazy story of the day. And this is the second car that crashes into that same, like, area 3 months earlier, and this is a second one. What? This is hold on. Let's play it and then we'll
little on 2 of them.
This surveillance footage shows the moment into the roof of the Clay Ray veteran. The moment the car crashed into the roof. The moment the car crashed. This surveillance footage shows the moment the car crashed. This
Where did it
surveillance
come
footage
from?
shows the moment the
It came from over here. This one did a Dukes of Hazzard. This was a Dukes of Hazzard. Like, wait a minute. How the hell? So it hit. I don't know.
footage shows the moment the car.
Because they don't show a full playing video. It only gives you like a still. So it's like, how the hell did the car get like this? Like, to me, it looked like it had like a portal, and it opened up, and the car just fell from the portal into the damn establishment. Like, that's crazy. Let me go back a little bit, because like it feels like a portal opened up and the car just flew out.
Surveillance footage shows the moment the
You
car.
see what I mean? They don't show like the car doing anything. Like, anyway, and this is an awkward angle. Look at this angle. Like, help me make sense. Help me make it make sense. I don't get it. This is some fucking like weird. Just weird. It's just a weird story. There, let me just continue playing it, and then I'll talk more about it after. This is so weird.
Car crashed into the roof of the Clay Ray Veterans Association building. A man was driving on Linwood Avenue when his car launched off the cliff, tumbled through the trees, and then flipped right onto the roof.
Instead of following the curve of 10 Highway, the road that they come off of is Linwood Avenue, and they drive straight down Linwood Avenue, and then there's this cliff face that's on the backside of St. Louis Avenue.
Oh
It's
no!
hidden by this tree line, and essentially they launch off of the cliff face, and they end up in the roof here.
The Veterans Association has not been able to use their building or host revenue-generating events since the first car crashed into the building in February.
Look at this! Oh my goodness! Are you kidding me? So this is the first one. The second one ported. It's like it was like a portal. It felt like a portal, but they need to show the whole video. Like, play like the whole video of it crashing. This is crazy. This is crazy. Oh man, I feel bad for those people, but I think you may need to put some barrier, maybe some poles, on the outside area on that sidewalk, like pretty high, so it could catch these cars coming through, because this is the second time. Man, I will have very bad PTSD if I was going to that facility, and this is crazy. Like, so what did that driver do? Did he just get out of the car and be like, all right, so how do I walk out of this attic? Like, what's going on here? Like, help me make sense. I don't know. Help me make it make sense. It's just, oh man. All right, let's continue the story.
It's quite shocking for it to happen again, but we just went through all this.
The guy's wearing a Trump hat. Wait a minute. And it says "Take America Back." Oh my goodness. And we have a Trump hat in the news. This is incredible. This is like, you can't make this up. This is so happening. It's so real.
Everything to fix the other part, and now it's the same thing, just over in the bar area instead of in the kitchen.
They were only 2 weeks away from reopening.
It's just heartbreaking, especially when it comes to the community. I mean, it's an American Legion. We help veterans any way we can.
Oh, you know Trump is gonna get involved. Oh man, he'll have this place fixed in no time, because it's Veterans Hall. So I'm pretty sure the veterans are gonna chip in and put money into helping this place out and getting this place fixed up and properly, like, they protect it. I'm just saying we're gonna have to put some fucking poles up. We're gonna have to like do something to protect our facility because this is the second time and it can happen again. And let's not make it a third time a charm. So and listen, you had one 3 months ago and you just had one 3 months after. Yeah, yeah. Let's put some poles up. All right, let's continue.
It's put a big damper on things.
Excelsior Springs police are still looking into what caused the crash Wednesday morning, but say it's obvious that speed was involved.
As long as he
Even
didn't
the
have
motor
any
came
medical
out.
condition, we are going to charge him with something. That could be as minor as careless driving or...
What the hell? Let me. I'm sorry for pausing it so much, but what is this? His lunch? Like this is a fucking blueberry muffin. I think this is a muffin here. I'm trying to make it make sense here. So he had like a muffin tray or something that he ate. Maybe it's garbage. Like this looks old. Like what's going on here? Why is there litter? Like does this person had like a really dirty car and had a lot of shit in his car? Like what the hell is this? Like could this be part of the engine? Something part of the engine? I don't know what this is. I don't know. But I know what this is. This motherfucker ate a muffin. I think it was a muffin. Let's blame it on the muffin. Blame it on the muffin.
careless driving, or all the way up to if he was determined to be impaired, he could face a charge for that. But we just don't know at this point.
There was nobody inside the building at the time of the crash, and the driver was able to walk himself to the ambulance and was then taken to the hospital.
Wait a minute. He lived? He lives to tell the story? This is 2 times people crash and live to tell the story. Are you kidding me? That is crazy. They're gonna have to put barriers on the top of the hill. Like the car came through there. It did a Dukes of Hazzard. I'm sorry. This is fucking Dukes of Hazzard. That's crazy. This is crazy. Crazy. Yeah, she has pretty hair, by the way. Very pretty hair. Let's go ahead and stop sharing here. And let's go back to me. What a wild story. How y'all feel about that? I mean, I think that was fucking weird. That was so wild. Dukes of Hazzard into the hall 2 times. Okay. That's crazy. It seems like the last one like got deeper into the hall. So I think he got like first place as far as distance concerned. Because the first one was like it hit like the roof, but also the wall. So it was like on the edge. So he was able to get out, or he or she was able to get out safely. The second one, Dukes of Hazzard, further into the hall, walks to the ambulance. That's crazy. That's wild. That's wild. Man, this world is so weird. So weird. So many weird things happening. The energy is very hyped. Negative energy is very strong. This sun experience with this flare it's not pleasant. I'm not feeling good. It's wild times. Iran's acting up. U.S. is telling Israel chill out for a bit because we need to reposition real quick. Because we gotta do something about this. So, because Iran, they're already assuming that they have gotten a certain amount. What was it? 900 pounds. 900 pounds of uranium, assuming 900 to 600 pounds. So they're already assuming, and that's dangerous. That's dangerous because they told them no, and they still persisted to do it. So this is not a good thing. This is very bad. I said the next 2 weeks is going to be crazy, and oh man, I don't want to have to wake up and then be like, damn, I gotta fucking go down to the show and talk about the U.S. and Israel attacking Iran. And Iran's going to shoot the missiles at Israel. They are going to try to penetrate Israel. And they're gonna be dirty. Iran is already at its limit. It's they need to revamp that area, and they're gonna wipe them out. It's messed up because a lot of innocent people are gonna fucking get in harm's way, and it's just gonna have to happen, and that's. And then you have like what happened with Pakistan, and who was it? The other one, it was Pakistan, and what was the other one? If you guys could tell me, damn, let me get my world map. Was it Afghanistan? No, I don't think it was Afghanistan. Was it Afghanistan? It was one of those. Let me see. I gotta open my map and go to that area. Yeah, it was Afghanistan. Let me see. Was it the India and Pakistan? I think it was the India and Pakistan. So it's like this is like and then Trump had to intervene and chill those people out and ceasefire, and Trump was successful in getting the ceasefire between them two. Because that could have been nuclear. That could have turned nuclear, and that would have been crazy, and for that region. And Iran's a big area, man. Iran's a really big area, and the thing is that Iran has a lot of their weapons in mountains. But I believe Israel knows where they're located. But Israel's so little, man, compared to like the map. Because I'm looking at the map, and Israel's so small. It's small. But I always felt Gaza belonged to Israel. So I think they're gonna push them downward, and they're gonna end up having a small area. But I just have a feeling, and Iran's really big, man. Iran is huge. Iran is huge. A lot of terrain, a lot of they're in range for a lot of areas. If they wanted to start World War III, and they could easily attack Dubai, because that's right there. If they want to punish them for being so friendly with the Americans, they could go after Dubai and in those surrounding areas there and try to really destroy that area and go after Saudi Arabia and go to all these places, and then of course Israel. But then if that happens, then yeah, it's going to be World War III, and you're going to see a lot of alliance get together and really start forming and start working together. Because right now I don't feel the energy. U.S. is really disappointed in Russia for many reasons. They're very big and they have a lot of resources. They are they're a very superpower nation. Ukraine is like that pimple that popped that came to your face, and then you had to like pop it to like get rid of it. That's what that is. Ukraine is it's really nothing compared to Russia. There's bigger fish to fry. Bigger fish to fry. Iran's a big threat, and just a big threat because the weaponry that they can use, which was imported, definitely was imported in. No, man. It could be a dirty war. If that was to break out, that would be very dirty. Because they got to go into the mountains. That's the only way. They got to go into the mountains. Because if they don't go into the mountains and take out the problem, then the problem is going to persist. Like, it's going to continue on and on and on and on. And it's just not going to be good. And there's a lot of issues going on, you know? We got the immigration, we got these Democrats acting crazy, we got like mass shooting everywhere. We have like so many things going on. So many things. You got Diddy, we got like SpaceX not being successful with their last like the heavy it was an unsuccessful test. I just think that type of rocket's not going to work because, like, if it's straight upwards, it's fine. If it's probably going to Mars, that should be fine. But it's the short up and down. I think that's the problem, and I don't know if that's a good idea. But hopefully they'll tweak it. It's not my problem. That's Elon's problem. It's Elon's problems. But let's see. Did we see this one? I don't think we saw this one. Did we see this one? Let me open it and let me see if we've seen this one. Give me 1 sec. No, we have not seen this one. It's about Biden, of course. But at least it gives us like a good 5 minutes to watch. Let me set it up. It gives us something to watch. It's just the energy of Iran, and you know, it seems like I'm reliving this again. And they want this war to happen because war is profitable. Never forget it. So give me 1 sec. I'm getting it set up. The alleged cover up. Let's go for it.
To the Hill national politics reporter Julia Manchester. Julia, great to see you. I mean, how serious an inquiry is this, and should it be? Should we just let bygones be bygones, or is there a real national interest in knowing what went on in the Biden White House?
Great to see you, Jonathan. Look, I think there is a huge national interest right now. I mean, you have a number of tell-all books from the last months of the Biden administration that have come out in recent weeks, and there's been a lot of intrigue, and it's renewed a lot of intrigue. On top of that, you have President Biden, prior to his cancer diagnosis, coming out and making his first step back into the limelight since he left the White House earlier this year, appearing on the BBC and then The View. And then on top of that, of course, you have that prostate cancer diagnosis, which is very serious. So I think all of those coupled together really create this perfect storm for intrigue in President Biden. We know that the House Oversight Committee, Republicans on that committee, Republicans in Congress have said, continuously that they will investigate this. So I think this investigation, with the public interest, with the coverage, with Biden's comments, et cetera, it will only pick up from here.
So I don't think there's any doubt in most people's minds, Julia, that there was a cover-up in the White House. But did that cover-up harm the nation, or did it just very clearly harm the Democrats?
Well, that's a question I think you're going to, hear Republicans in particular answering. I mean, clearly it harmed the Democrats. This was not their best case scenario in the 2024 presidential elections, giving the vice president only, 106 days to run a campaign. But the question is, I think there's a lot of Republicans, many Americans asking, who was in charge? I mean, we would think that the president was in charge, but if there are these serious questions about what his, health state was in the final days of his administration, final months, I think there are going to be questions, about what went on in that decision-making process and who was involved in that process.
Did President Trump seem to choose his words, to me at least, pretty carefully when he was asked about the prospect of Dr. Jill Biden, President Biden's wife, being called to testify? President Trump was careful on Friday, I thought. What do you think? Should she be called to testify? I mean, she was the power behind the throne, I think, here.
I think that's something Republicans would obviously like to do here, but I think you're going to see congressional Republicans taking a cue from President Trump and following his lead on that. This is a very sensitive situation any way you cut it, regardless of, the questions involved in this. Of course, we understand that President Biden has cancer right now, that his family is dealing with that. So I think there's also
that's a fucking excuse. What a
to call
pitiful
the former
excuse.
First Lady at this time to testify about this.
Garbage.
We know that the former First Lady has stood staunchly by President Biden's side and has maintained that a lot of these books that have come out questioning his health in the final days of his administration were not written, she says, by people who directly covered Biden. So she stood firm publicly now, but we'll see if she's before the panel.
Yeah, and of course, we all absolutely wish President Biden the very best and his family in his ongoing battle against cancer. I want to switch gears quickly.
Garbage.
Elon Musk headed for the exits this week, marking the end of his time leading Doge, but not before splitting with Trump's big, beautiful bill. It was interesting in that joint appearance on Friday, Julia, that they were asked a question about Musk's criticism. President Trump said, I'll take that first, then talked for about 2 minutes and then moved to the next question without giving Elon an actual chance. There is a bit of a split there, but they still seem pretty good buddies from what we saw on Friday.
There is a bit of a split there, and you also have to remember this is a sensitive time for Republicans in the House and the Senate as they work on this legislation, particularly in the Senate. We do know that Elon Musk's comments about not liking this big, beautiful bill did ruffle some feathers among House Republicans. Obviously, President Trump wants them on his team, so he has to approach this very carefully. But there are other Republicans who are agreeing with Elon Musk here. I mean, you have Governor Ron DeSantis in Florida, agreeing with Elon Musk, saying that a lot of these Doge cuts should be codified in this legislation. So we'll see, how that moves ahead. But Jonathan, I think it's so interesting to see Elon Musk continuing to, voice his opinion on these matters. I think President Trump hinted at this yesterday, but even though Elon Musk may be leaving in an official capacity, I think he will very much still have one foot in Trump world and still be wielding, at least some kind of influence.
Yeah, for sure. Julia, it is always so good to see you. Thank you for spending part of your Saturday morning with us, Julia Manchester. Thanks so much, Julia.
Thank you.
Wow.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews.
Trying to click here and doesn't want to. They didn't want to stop for a second there. Let's go back to me. Yeah, it's boo-hoo because he had cancer that we knew that he had it for like the past 10 years. And, we just didn't do the test because he was old. He don't need the test. But he's the fucking main person of the United States. He's the number one person of the United States that represents everyone, and he kept his health diagnosis out of that. He did. No one tested him for that. But his what was his what forgot his name, that black guy who had cancer. He went like missing for like a few weeks, and they found out that he had like prostate cancer or something, and he had like surgery and so forth, and didn't tell the president, didn't tell nobody, kept a secret. It's just ridiculous. This world is just so weird, so weird. It's not getting any better. It's just a very weird time to be living. I got another 2 videos, and then I could probably wrap it up because I'm really getting tired and my neck is hurting. But we can watch 2 more videos. One is about let's see, that's the cover up. Yeah, let's watch we have the cover up, and then we have the immigration. So we'll leave the cover up for last. We'll go straight to the immigration and set that up here. Give me 1 second. It's going to be an interesting time because there's going to be a lot of profiling, and there's people that are going to try to sue for profiling, and it's just weird. It's just well, let's check it out.
At a health fair for the Haitian community in Miami today, we met Harold Renards just one day after a Supreme Court decision upended his legal status. Harold fled Haiti in 2023, desperate to save his own life and start a new one in Florida. Because of the gang violence there, he told us through an interpreter he can never go home. Would you be in danger?
Yes, what danger? Bon, oui. C'est yes. Oui. Non. Déjà, le m'était l'autre bois, j'étais obligé de quitter. He said, before I came, I was already in danger before I left. Yeah. J'étais obligé de courir pour ne pas parce que I was running and hiding because I couldn't stay in my neighborhood. So now going back would be even worse.
He's one of more than 500,000 people afforded temporary legal status under a Biden-era program known as CHNV, offering migrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela the chance to live and work in the U.S. because of their country's violence and poverty.
We know that there is tremendous trepidation. We know there is fear.
But now an uncertain future after the Supreme Court on Friday allowed the Trump administration to revoke that legal status. Migrants in the U.S. under CHNV might still find other legal pathways, but now face the risk of deportation.
So now I don't know what would happen to me if I ever have to go back.
And Ryan, we also have news today about a judge's ruling on a different group of immigrants.
But you see, I think the Haitians, you have to give in consideration because there is like political craziness with the gangs and stuff, and like, okay, like the Haitians that are here, I think they should be given more leniency because they're escaping political like turmoil that's going on there, especially with the gangs and everything. So, I mean, they should be, okay. The Cubans need to go back You know, if they came in here and they think that, you know, it's a free ride if you get here, because Florida has this wet foot, dry foot policy that if they touch land, that they give them like immigration status, and they give them, you know, their due process, and they get to stay. But if they catch them out in the water, they send them back. And I think that policy they're going to eliminate that policy. And those that are here and they're on, you know, like review or whatever, they're going to overturn and they're going to have to be sent back to Cuba. So it involves a lot of ethnicity, like a lot of ethnics, like all around the world. This is not just one group of people. This is like people from all around the world. And profiling is going to happen, and there's a lot of illegal people that are here in the United States, and it's going to be interesting. That's all I got to say. Here, let me continue the story, and then we'll watch the next story, and then I'll be done.
Federal judge blocked the Trump administration from invalidating work permits for some 5,000 Venezuelans here under temporary protected status. It's a small portion of those here under TPS, and another step in the ongoing fight between the White House and the courts over immigration. Jose?
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news.
Very, very interesting. Let's go to the next one. This is the Biden craziness. Freaking Biden, he's just a nutty professor. He's just a nutty guy. He's not even smart. He's just way past his time, and his family really did a number on him. His son took advantage of him. You know, they had Biden drugged up for a lot of times, allegedly, all this stuff, but I can see it. I can see all this stuff, and Biden did not sign any of those pardons. The auto pen signed it, and you can compare the signature from his real signature and his auto pen signature. That's all Congress needs to do is bring him in right now. Like, don't wait. Don't give this guy time and wait till he dies and then say, oh, we didn't have time to call in Biden. He's alive right now. He's in Delaware. All you got to do is send a chauffeur, bring his ass into Congress, and answer these questions and sign your signature on this paper. Because we're going to review your signature, compare your signature to all the signatures of the auto pen. And if they don't match, we have a problem. Because all those auto pen signatures, thousands upon thousands that auto pen was used for, is invalid because the president did not sign it. The auto pen did. Not valid. Sorry. Y'all try to be slick. Oh man, he can't sign that 8,000 plus pardons. He can't do that. Come on now. All right, let's continue with the cover up of Biden.
We're defined as anti-Trump. You damn right. You damn right. We are anti-Trump. But we also have to spend the time letting voters know what we stand for.
A lot of them are with us on the issues. They're just not part of our coalition because they feel like they're not welcomed in it.
There's a condescension that is imputed to Democrats that I think we really need to deal with. So much of politics is not just how you make people feel, how you make people feel about themselves.
So Democrats are weighing strategies to try to regain voter approval, especially among young men. Critics, though, say these tactics are simply a diversion as investigations expand into a possible cover-up of Joe Biden's health decline while he was president. Joining us now, Dr. Lauren Wright, a political scientist at Princeton University. Dr. Wright, let me put this question to you. There are going to be investigations in the Senate, as we just said, as well as in the House, into who knew what when regarding the president's health. If you were on one of those panels, what would you ask?
I would ask who knew what when,
and specifically how early. Some of the reporting indicates Biden has been declining since 2021, and his staffers saw that firsthand. Yes, it's a Republican effort, but it's a serious, dangerous issue that deserves every bit of scrutiny from the Senate, from the House. It's one of the most dangerous lies ever told by government officials to the American public is Joe Biden's cognitive decline. I hope they do look into it.
We learned from the Robert Hur tapes that were released of his, White House counsel investigation. Joe Biden couldn't even remember what year his son died and what year
women in front of me.
He
what am I doing?
ran for president or won the presidency.
Let me walk
fact
on
that
this way.
Guy was in office and had the nuclear football trailing him around.
Which way I go?
Is really kind of scary, and it raises the question: who was really in charge? Who was really running?
I have to run this way.
Office?
Oh, do I stop here?
Well, it's also antithetical to American democracy, and that's the message that Democrats campaigned on was Trump's a risk to democracy. The country is going to cease to exist, is what Joe Biden said if Trump is elected. And all the while, they were undermining democracy in one of the most fundamental, basic ways by seemingly taking away Americans' right to elect their president. They didn't want unelected bureaucrats running the highest office in the land. And unless people can give evidence to the contrary, that seems to be what was happening. And it's very scary. It's very serious. And it deserves all of the scrutiny and the seriousness that investigations into Trump's 2020 election lies and January 6th deserves, if not even more.
But I can see a bunch of, top White House aides just going in front of Congress and saying, well, he seemed fine to me. Can they get away with that, do you think?
I mean, maybe they can, but the damage has been done. Luckily, Americans did elect a different person. And so Joe Biden's not going to be back in the picture anytime soon. And so in that way, democracy does have
people that interviewing him,
one of the biggest issues for voters heading into 2024 was Joe Biden's age. And some polls even showed that 70% of Democrats were worried about this issue. And so it worked itself out, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't look back to see how it happened.
Well, you're the political scientist, and doesn't this all go back to the fact that the leading Democrats were afraid that Bernie Sanders was actually going to win their nomination back in 2016, and that so they sort of propped up Joe Biden to make sure that somebody who was more palatable to mainstream Democrats won the election?
Well, Democrats do have a much more restrictive primary process, but I think the bigger issue for them right now is that they do have a problem with the truth. They staked out these very extreme policy positions, not just messaging issues, policy issues.
This is the one right
heading
here.
into 2024. And some of them are now saying they never even said these things, whether it's on gender identity or the economy or immigration or inflation. Just all of these things deserve an explanation. They either need to double down on those unpopular policy stances and explain what happened, or say that they were lying and that it was strategic. And part of that is how the Democratic primary process unfolded.
So,
I don't know.
All of those people that Joe Biden pardoned, including his own son, Hunter, and a number of other people, Dr. Fauci, for instance.
I'm with the women.
We don't even know if he made those decisions himself or if somebody, put the auto pen in front of him with a sheet of paper and said, here,
my cokehead son. My cokehead son.
I mean, those pardoning decisions are extraordinarily controversial. And certainly Trump has made some too, and both are within their powers to do so. But yes, the problem is exactly what you just said, John, which is that every decision Joe Biden made at the beginning of his presidency all the way to the end now is going under a spotlight that is entirely appropriate.
To be a president.
We'll see if we get some answers from these congressional investigations. Dr. Lauren Wright, good to have you on. Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click.
Why are you there, Hunter? Hunter Biden, the cokehead. He's definitely not good for society. I say, listen, if Biden is fit enough to go to a
park and do an interview in front of media. Well, I think he's in good standing that he could go to Congress and answer some questions. I think the Republicans should not drag their feet on this. It seems like the Republicans, when it comes to this Biden, they talk the talk, but they're not walking the walk. They need to act and act now, because we need answers, and we can't just let this guy perish without getting the answers from him. And we have to hold them under oath, and he needs to answer the questions and give him the time to answer. And you're going to see he's not capable. That's the only reason why they don't want him. Like, they want him to die. That was the game plan. The old man didn't die. Kamala was supposed to be president in the first term. She was supposed to be president. They had their emergency and everything in Las Vegas. He was supposed to die. The motherfucker did not die, and he continued his craziness. They let Kamala, run without even being brought in through her party. She didn't even go through nothing. She just was placed there like a placement, and we voted, and she lost. So what is their play? I don't understand. Like, we need to get Biden into Congress and have him under oath and have him answer questions under oath while he's alive. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna pity, because that's what they play. They pay the pity. Oh, Jill, she cannot go and answer questions because her husband, he has cancer now on his ass and it's gone to the bone. Oh, no. No. We're not playing that. Listen, we knew you were gonna play this game. This is so premeditated. Listen, you're gonna go to Congress and you're gonna answer some questions, and your crackhead son could come too. Your stepson, Hunter Biden, bring your coke ass up here. No, they need to answer some questions, and this country was under siege for the past 4 years. It was not run by the president, but it was done by a ghost party that was in there and running amok, and yeah, we lived through that. We lived through those times, and very, very awkward times we lived through. And for those that are watching, appreciate you guys very much. For those rewatching, I appreciate you guys very, very much also. This energy is very strong. A lot of people are going to be feeling very weird. You may feel like lightheaded or vertical or not feel good in your head. You will get headaches. Your body will ache more tonight and tomorrow. You're gonna feel really weird, especially those that are sensitive and that already have these issues, like with arthritis, and people that are suffering. They're gonna suffer a little bit more with this energy coming in, and we'll try to get through it. And this world we're in very unique times. Thank the gods that you're alive, and we'll see you tomorrow. It was a good show. I had a good time. Like I said, thank you for everyone who watched and rewatched. Have a good morning, good afternoon, and a good night. And definitely catch you guys on the flip side. Very interesting times. Look at this. Very, very, very interesting times, and I'm out.